All right, back now to some developing news. NewsNation learning former President Trump intends to file an administrative claim against the Justice Department. We're talking $100 million in damages. This is after the FBI raid of his Mar-a-Lago estate in 2022. This is not a lawsuit at this time. Federal officials were searching the estate for classified documents connected to the now dismissed federal investigation into his handling of the classified documents. Trump's legal team is calling the raid political persecution and unconstitutional. The government now has 180 days to respond, and if they don't, the case moves to federal court in Florida. Joining me now, former federal prosecutor David Weinstein. Good morning to you. So 180 days, we're 85 days away from the election right now. Might that speed up the process?
No, not at all, Marni.
Why?
And thank you for having me join you. Because they're going to take full advantage of the 180 days, because there are a lot of other things that are going to happen in the middle of that 180 days. There is a saying, it's not over until the Court of Appeals rules. Much of what the former president and his legal team cite in this memorandum that they've sent to the Department of Justice and they have released to the press talks about a case that was dismissed by a single judge in the Southern District of Florida. Her decision relied on whether or not the special prosecutor was authorized by the Special Prosecutors Act, not on the merits of what took place necessarily. They also include a lot of opinion, of discussion amongst other people in the law enforcement community during which time decisions were made about executing the search warrant. It's also interesting to note that this same judge who dismissed the case also found that there was no reason to hold what's called a Franks hearing, which is an evidentiary hearing to address things that were missing from the search warrant. So it's all premature. And quite frankly, between now and the end of the 180 days, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals could reverse Judge Cannon, could reinstate the criminal prosecution, and could put an end to all the claims that are being made here by the former president in his current memorandum. So his statement about it being political is, in fact, yet another political statement.
Right. So it seems unpredictable what may happen next, but what's the most likely step, do you think, here, David?
I think we all sit and wait on this particular matter for the 180 days to expire. Now, in between the next thing that's going to happen, you're going to see movement in the D.C. Circuit case, and you're going to see movement at the Court of Appeals on the Department of Justice's appeal of Judge Cannon's order of dismissal. So a lot of moving parts, but the response from DOJ, that's not going to come until the 180th day unless you get a decision out of the Court of Appeals prior to that, at which point they will then say, case has not been dismissed. Everything you've said is incorrect, and again, this is premature.
Is this something you think will likely move up through the court system? Could it end up before the high court?
If, in fact, the 11th Circuit upholds the decision of Judge Cannon, meaning that the case should be dismissed, that'll get taken up to the U.S. Supreme Court. That'll have to be decided on. And then if that's upheld, then this particular, what is now a tort claim, will eventually wind its way through the court system and up to the U.S. Supreme Court as well. But that one, Marni, is way down the road.
Okay. And again, this is not a lawsuit at this time. Thank you, David. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.